they're trying to date and they're toxic or they're trying to manipulate them. So with me bringing my husband involved with the conversation, it was just for the openness, as a male figure, a father figure, a leader, I'm a person with wisdom. And so we usually, as people, we don't know who you date until you done brought them to us. Now it's a whole mess, and we're trying to figure out, where did this person come from? How did they get this far? And so we kind of did some old school inventory today. We want to know the what, wins, and whys and who their peoples is. And when you become the elders, you see why it was necessary to see.
Look at her talking about elders. Cut it out.
We are.
Cut it out. Elders in wisdom.
We are the elders.
Lord have mercy.
We have so many different things that we do on a daily basis.
Yes, live. We're live. We're trying to do our podcast.
We have so much going on, but we're not going to stop.
We're trying to double
We're
up.
trying to multitask.
And it's not working. I'm about to ban and talk trash about Charter.
Yeah. And they high too. They be trying to be out here. I'm going to get with that T-Mobile commercial. It says, leave Spectrum and come to T-Mobile.
Just in case they try to come at us as if we're not doing our job. They're not doing their job.
Exactly.
Let's get it straight.
Y'all charging $80 a month. For what? We can't even use our internet service. But on a brighter note, we have had some downtime this week. I personally had some downtime. My baby, he don't know what downtown looks like. So,
downtown, Judith Brown.
Downtown.
Downtown. Oh, my bad. That's just talking about downtown, Judy Brown.
No, we went downtown too. But I've been trying to say this like our third take.
Yeah.
We the producers. Yeah. We are the podcasters.
Directors, behind the scene, in front of the screen, on the side of the screen.
I said, babe, let me go back and look through the episodes. I need to throw on a shirt that I hadn't had on before. I just grabbed the first shirt that I saw because y'all already know I'm multitasking. You know, I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. I'm really not trying to dress to impress. I want to speak life into your.
You can look back at the screen now, baby, because our first priority is the podcast.
We touching everybody.
Yes.
So
we're just allowing our TikTok viewers to enjoy the podcast because we're always on there and we're talking about different things and we're getting so much feedback from it that we just wanted to try to let them in while we're going through the podcast. And I'm going to be glancing over to my phone just to make sure somebody might have a question or inquiry about what we're doing. But if you want to see it live, we're going to post it on Facebook, YouTube. It'll be on Streamline and Spotify. Yeah, go ahead, baby.
So back to what we was talking about. We had an interesting week. Today was interesting because we had a data inventory with one of our peoples about, going out and just trying to figure out ways to help my brothers and sisters stay on the right path. And like I was saying,
especially when you're trying to start not start a new relationship, but getting out of a relationship and what you need to do to protect yourself, especially as a woman.
So, women, I would encourage you. Babe, what'd you say? So my baby said, well, she kind of drove me into it because as a woman, I understand how important it is for a woman to hear a male's point of view because a lot of times women haven't had that male voice. So the respect that they have for a man is so slim because they haven't heard a man's voice. They haven't heard a father give you instructions. And so sometimes I'll ask my husband to chime in. We had a discussion about 2 weeks ago and I said, you can't respect something you don't reverence. If you don't reverence people, not necessarily what they do, but what they bring. Because a lot of times people can do things that you may not agree with, but are they bringing wisdom? Are they bringing knowledge? Are they bringing those things that help you get to a better place? And sometimes they don't even help themselves. So never ever have small, despise small beginnings when you're dealing with people.
That's her favorite saying.
You never ever, because a small begin. You see why I'm here? You see why I'm here? You never despise a small beginning.
We
Now
wasn't even talk about
I'm just
that.
saying that.
But the fact is, God sees the smallest. You know, everything is small to God. So why should we think any less? The smallest problem to us is a big problem to God. So just look at it. Everything is small.
Every day is a great day. So as we was doing this
And that's
inventory,
vice versa. I meant to say everything that's big to us is small to God.
small to God.
Yeah, there we go.
That's
We're
true.
back. Yeah,
Because
yeah.
God is in everything and all things. And so that was a tip. Like I was saying previously, that I've learned some things.
So what was you telling her?
Well, I wanted to know her input, and I wanted to know what she had done. And so as she was telling me this, because sometimes when you're in a situation, you may can't see the blind spots because you're going into something new. But when somebody trusts you enough to ask your opinion, or someone is considering your thoughts about a situation, I felt like that was very, very respected. Usually when we start dating as adults, we're like, oh, we grown. You can't tell me what to do. I don't want to hear nobody's opinion. But when you get dropped like a hot potato, now you want everybody to come and pick you up, scoop you up, and try to figure out how did this go wrong, instead of allowing people to be a part of your process. And I think that was kind of cool that she was allowing us to be a part of her process. Sometimes the people that's in your process, they in situations that is unhealthy, they're not going nowhere, or they don't want to be bothered. And so it's always a good thing to involve others into your relationship.
Y'all don't mind me.
Before you get into a relationship, because you want to have safe spaces. You know, you want to have people that, and I'm not saying, tell everybody your business.
Hey, Janie.
What's up? We've been out here busy. I'm not saying, tell everybody your business. I'm not saying it like that, but I feel like when you are dealing with wise people and you know that they have good intention for you, it's kind of good to have discussions with certain people that's in your life that play a good part of it, so they can see the blind spot. So one of the interesting things we discussed, she was like, it was 50 men and only 10 women. That's a big difference. Like, whoa, 10 women to 50 men in one establishment.
And I think that's why my wife wanted my opinion on it, because coming from a man's point of view, I'm not going to be in a spot that got, we outnumbering the women quadruple. It's 10 men for each woman that's in there. That's ridiculous, just about. That's in a ring where majority of them are not, what you're looking for is not going to be there, or you're not going to be able to find them with that many men in one location.
That's true. Or not only that, I felt like personally,
And not that many men, but the ratio.
The
You know what I'm
ratio.
saying? The ratio was off.
My
If
bad,
it's
what did you say?
50-30, what?
That you on a chopping block? What did you say?
Yeah, it's like back in the day in the slaves, they bring you up and you got 50 people standing out there and it's only 10 women. They critiquing every single one, but it's only 10 of y'all. It's like, where's the balance? And I know men are out. It's a disproportionate level between men and women, but it shouldn't be that far off. If it's a nice lounge, if it's a nice restaurant, if it's a nice outing type of place, something as a woman, something should be a red sign to you, a bright light to say something is not right with this setting.
The math ain't mathing like the young folks say.
Why is it so many more
Yeah.
men than women? Where are the women? Why they're not in here? And maybe, you never know what took place where pushed women away from there. And maybe that was it. A lot of women like to go out, have a good time, but they don't want to be shadowed with a man every time they look up. They got to turn this one down. No, that's okay. I'm good. No, it's like they never get a chance to talk or have a good time or just enjoy their friendship. You don't know if they haven't seen each other in a while, but you're so eager and hungry that you're interrupting. It's so many. It's almost like they're gonna be like crabs in a bucket. They fighting.
So we kind of did that today, but I was wanting to discuss. So Zion was gone for a week. So I made a conscious decision to.
Hey, we was just. You got to finish the story now.
I did. I mean, I don't want to. It don't. You could. I mean, we could finish. I was just saying something about my week. My original point, because we got so much going on. Y'all got over here when you're over there. My original thought was this week. I was sharing with you guys how some of my tips on becoming a better wife. I'm learning. God has me in clinicals every single day. Like, never ever think that your girl ain't out here trying to figure it out. So with that being said, so Zion was gone from Sunday to Saturday. And me being me, I like to mess and ramble, be outside. I was like, I'm not doing any of that. And so what I decided to do was be very intentional towards my husband. I don't know if he noticed it or not. I don't know if he noticed it or not.
I noticed.
I wanted to have that space to be intentional with him. And sometimes we as women,
Get your mind out of the gutter. They ain't got to be like that now.
we as women, we have so much pulling at us. Like, honestly, if you have children, it's going to be your children. If you have grandkids, it's going to be your grandkids, your children, your family, your friends. You're going to have so much pulling at you that sometimes you not forget intentionally, but you just feel like your husband is okay. Because usually he's doing it with you, but he's really not. And so
I want that tension.
yeah, he want attention. He the oldest right here. That's my oldest one right here. But what I realized,
But I give out a lot of love, and that's something that I talked about earlier. Just the fact of how much love you need to be giving out to your family. You got to make sure she wouldn't feel that way if I didn't pour into her that way. And you see how reciprocating that is. She felt something to say, I want to give my husband this. Why? Because my husband gives me this. So when you're in that relationship, always consider what shoes are you playing that day. Sometimes you got to step out of your shoes and step into your wife's shoes just to see where she's coming from, just to see how she's feeling, just to be able to react to her pleasant, her emotional side, something maybe going on. And that was something that I want to speak about. You know, manly men, we all consider ourselves as men, but I don't think we understand that part of connecting to that feminine side of you. And I don't care what anybody say. Every man has that side of them because you came from a woman. It's impossible for you not to have it. But being able to connect with it so you can connect better with your wife. You got to be able to say, let me rub her feet. Let me paint your nails, baby. You need your nails painted? You know what I'm saying? That's that type of commitment and passion and love that it shouldn't be no type of insecurity that come from it. You shouldn't be afraid to be vulnerable with your wife, with the one that you love. And that's what keeps us so separated, because we feel like, I ain't gonna, you know what I'm saying? That's the best thing I love to see is when a father lets his daughter make his face up, do his fingernails, have a tea party with daddy. And as a husband, you still have to be that to that little girl that's inside of her. Because that little girl never went away. She still likes that type of attention. But now it's not her father's job no longer. It's your job as a husband to fill that little girl's void, and vice versa. What you think, baby?
that is true. You said something about the little kid in us. I think it is very important to, first of all, know the position that you're in as a male or female, husband and wife. I know that
What you mean by that?
on a daily basis, usually we talk all through the day, but our undivided attention is usually at the end of the day, and we both been doing the same thing at different times with the kids, my mom, just we do a lot. And so what I realized is that it's so important for married people to, when you do have that time, don't waste it. Like every day we're not going to be kid free. That's not reality because we have a 16-year-old. But the times that we do have time, we need to capitalize on it, fill each other's love tank up. So when we're running, sitting at practices, going to training, babe, can you watch this? Because I can't stay. I got to go do this. There's some understanding and compassion in the midst of that. A lot of times we don't get that until we go on vacation.
That's
We don't
true.
get that until we all this frustration that is taking place. It's not taking place because you're bothered with each other. You're literally exhausted. You are tired because that your mate is doing one part of your job and you're doing the other part of the family, and you end up getting divided. I made a decision that I wanted to be happily married. I don't want to just be married. I just can't settle for just being married. I want to be in love with my husband. I want to be goo goo for gagas for my husband.
And I'm lovable.
Hey, I need a star in the heart for that one.
Telling y'all, this ain't just for y'all now. I could be a piece of work, but
Yeah.
I love hard. I love for real. I'm very emotional. I'm a Cancer. So I'm everything I have is on the table. Brothers, put it on the table, man. Don't hold back. Cause what you holding back for? Where you gonna take it to the grave? That's useless.
Yeah.
You dead and gone, and she can say, "Well, I knew he loved me." No,
But
I want my baby to say, "Hey, I know my baby loved me." Oh my God.
the confidence, and that's something I wanted to discuss. You know, a lot of times men think women just want, oh, I just love her. It's not only that love, because I'm gonna be honest with you now. Like a woman that loves God, it's a little different for her because she already kind of confident and she's steadfast in her love for God. Like I know that my husband loves me, but that's not necessarily the winner for me. The winner for me with my husband is I feel safe. And so, men, you got to make sure that your woman feels safe with you. You have to know that I can come and talk to you and you don't verbally attack me, that you don't dismiss my emotions. Because women, we have so many different levels. Like, we have so many layers. We give birth to people. So, we can endure some hardness, we can endure some long suffering, just having a baby, giving birth, dealing with difficult situations. We can cut something off and keep moving. Like when you could push a baby out and you can continue after 6 weeks, we back. So we have a different level of tolerance for pain.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
we can go through it, fellas. We can't take pain now.
and so when you men really realize that your wife wants to feel safe with you, loving her, and she don't feel safe, like I'm gonna take care of you, you good, we straight. That's not enough. She has to know that if I need to cry, I can cry. If I'm not my best, you're not gonna shun me. You're gonna say, okay, well, babe, what can we do? How can I help you? Because like my husband was saying, we're grown women, but we still need that little girl's attention. We need to know that you want to make it okay. Even if you can't, that you're considering that it could be a problem for me and you want that problem to be resolved on my behalf. And women, when my husband has certain issues or he may feel uncomfortable about something, I have to be very diligent on making sure that he can come to me and feel safe as well. Because men are the opposite of us. Like we can endure different levels of pain. They shut women out. They'll shut you out and they'll stop talking to you. Now they talking to everybody but you.
And they'll find somebody else to talk to when you can't talk to your wife. That's why you have to have that openness, because that part of that insecurity in him it's not necessarily that they want to go somewhere else and talk to someone else, but someone else may listen. And you got to have that confidence not to give in to the temptations to go outside of your home and your relationship to get what you may consider as wise counsel. That's not wise counsel. That's destruction to your family, to your relationship, because no one wants their mate to have to go somewhere else to get advice.
Get gratification or like you say, advice.
That's the least. You don't even want your wife or your husband to get advice for TikTok or YouTube or the little reels. You don't want none of that coming. Don't send me something from another brother that may sound and give out like me. I'm that person. I call me crazy, but I just, like I said, putting things on the table, and that's what I think is a big problem, because you feel like it's not going to be accepted. And I think me and my wife had a conversation about that earlier. The fact that I have to look at how just because she feel a certain way, I can't discredit how she's feeling. No matter if it's an irrational thought, she wants to be heard. She wants to be understood. And my job is to make her as comfortable as possible to say the things that's hard for her, to relax in areas. When you have a single mother that's done it for herself for so long, I have to sometimes come in from a different angle just because I need to show her that I understand and I accept what you're saying. Maybe it's not right. Maybe I can explain to a different way of looking at it, but she's still been heard. And I told her that's the same thing men want. We want to be heard even if our thoughts are irrational. We want to be understood.
I think that's what your partner does, is that hard part of allowing that your mate is your safe space. Like you have to, like, fellas and women, I'm telling you, it's a time. This is, for once, it's time to stop playing.
Let me answer Gregory. Gregory says, I see a lot of wisdom. Please tell me why we cannot look out for each other as brothers and sisters. It's really because we've been conditioned not to. We've been trained not to. And I don't think we give it enough thought of how detrimental history was to our community. It was a plague that was set out with the intent to destroy us. So if we still stand, we still work hard, we're still resilient, we're still fighting back, that is something that holds us back. But at the same time, you have to understand where it comes from and not get mad at your brother. Be a teacher and not part of the problem that's going on in the community. It saddens me, but I know where it started. So now I'm not going to be upset with the perpetrator. I'm going to be upset with the person that sent the perpetrator, because that's the ultimate discussion that we got to have. When you're stripped of every identity of who you are, we're not just black. That's a color. We have a culture. We have rituals. We have a place that we came from that we know nothing about. So when it comes down to us killing and destroying each other, that was a plan that was set out to destroy us. And brother, I know you probably know that, but you have to look past your brother and sister and figure out a way to speak to them in a way that allows them to see and understand where you're coming from. And tell them, sometimes you just have to be so vulnerable to say, you know what, I love us, I love you. I don't want us to fight. I don't want us to be in disagreement. How can we fix it? How can we work it out? And maybe that might start the process of change amongst us. But we have to let go of that pride. We got to let go of that ego. All these things that we allow into our lives to separate us, it continues on. And we just hand it off. We hand it off to the next generation. the next generation. Now we got the gangs. Now we got this. Now we got that. And we don't know. We were all put here to love and take care of one another.
That is very true. So I feel like this is why we're doing the podcast, because we're not where we started at.
No. We was definitely in the mix of the chaos.
Ooh. And so once we realized that we had to put in some work to get to this place, and it works. Like marriage can work, relationships can work, but I'm gonna tell you for real, you have to die to yourself. Like when they say 1, 2 becoming one, can you imagine the pain that it takes for 2 people? Now we think differently. Let's not misunderstand.
We're from the South. We're from South Carolina.
We don't think the same all the time, okay? But we do have a lot in common. So we've had to work through different challenges to respect that. I may not agree with your opinion, but I respect you as my spouse. So I don't even have to go there with you. Because a lot of times you're saying the same thing in different ways. You're saying it from your experience. You're saying it from your upbringing. And a lot of our upbringings were not good.
It was wrong. We was taught wrong. And I won't say wrong. I got to take it off the fact of saying wrong. Y'all give us 1 second. I want to take it. Let me get this back. I want to get it straight. I'm not saying they were wrong, but they was teaching us that resilience. And I think giving us the resilience and that strength, that's a lot of things that this generation has lost. You know, we wasn't taking ourselves out. We wasn't committing suicide. You know, we wasn't destroying one another to that level. It was more of a unity and a bond that our ancestors seen, because they understood they was in the same struggle. We have gotten to a place of complacency, and we have gotten to a place of privilege. So now we don't teach our kids the things that they're gonna need to survive. Learning how to be cleaning yourself. Young ladies, young men, learning how to properly take baths, properly take showers, how to clean up behind yourself, how to wash your clothes, how to mop. We have taken that away because I think a lot of times we think that was something that was harsh that we had to do. My understanding in my mother's household was everybody in there had a job to do. My job is to go to work and take care of you. Your job is to make sure what I have you do gets done. Go ahead, baby. I'm going to read what he said. We have a chance.
Well, you know, when I say we're taught wrong, I'm not speaking on like the domestic part. I'm talking about the trauma that they've inherited and they've passed down. We was discussing today like the crazy things that you say out loud to your children, or the way you behave at times. And when you go back and you actually say it out loud, it's like, you know, we was discussing fighting as a kid.
We was to you, Gregory. Give me 1 second.
We was raised.
Let my queen finish.
One fight, all fight. That's just the upbringing I had personally.
So they was running around jumping folks.
No, listen now. Listen, y'all. I'm not speaking on violence, but I'm speaking on trauma.
But that's kids. We talking about being a kid.
Learning the dysfunction that we think is okay. Okay. So if it's 4 of y'all, okay, and 3 of y'all come back scratched up, that one who didn't come back with scratches, you getting bust up. That's just the fact. One fight, all fight. Okay. So now you teach your children this dysfunction, right? If I don't fight, now I'm gonna get a whooping. So now when you start fighting and winning, well, all you do is fight. Well, y'all told me if I don't fight, this is what's gonna happen to me. So now it goes up a notch. Now you're jumping on people. If one person get in a fight, all 4 of us is going to jump on you because we understand we have to take care of each other. But the mentality of that is so distorted because now you can really hurt somebody if 4 people jump on one person.
And now that's the thing. We're taking out each other.
You'll go to
that's
jail for lynching.
That's what this brother is talking about. He says We have a chance to make history again, and I just don't understand some of the sisters and brothers. You have to start to understand where people are at, and you have to learn how to meet them where they're at. We can't when think positive about every situation that you want to walk into, and your positive energy can possibly change the thoughts and the thinking pattern of others. So I advise you, I just give you something to think about when you go into situations like that. I'm an aggressive speaker as well, and I don't know if you are, but I know to get into certain conversations and people are not in the same zone mentally as you are, it bothers you. But you also have to consider, where do they come from? What were their background? What is their history? What were their parents like? What were they taught? So you can't look at them for face value, but look at something. We can't be teachers if we're aggressively trying to force something on someone. You have to be able to teach them in a way that's going to be accepting. And that's the only thing I advise you, brother. Or get with like-minded people. I have a men's mentoring program as well that I would like to get with brothers all over and get stuff going where we're stepping out in the community, stepping into the school system. They need to see more men representing what a man looks like.
That is very true, because a lot of times, just say like minded. I can't say I've met too many people that's like minded like me. But one thing I can say is that we both have the ability to be different enough for people to feel curious. See, you lead by example. A lot of times we're so busy looking at what other people are doing, we're not making a change because if it's our way or the highway. And so when you kind of fall back and be easy and just be who you are, be that, authentic version of yourself, not the rude person, because we all got that, but the person that I've learned personally in the last few months, when you humble yourself, most situations not that bad. The only reason why it's bad is because your pride and ego got you feeling like you the one with all the answers. Now you in a conflict about something usually don't even have nothing to do with you. Like when you're humble and meek, you don't need certain aggressiveness because it's not room for it. Because we all come from a place that we're trying to keep climbing out of daily. Like we're not beyond our past. We're not stuck in our past, but we still have those moments where you may feel like, it's not a good time, or we may not behave in the best of manners. So we have to be very careful on how we judge people versus what we're teaching them. If you're a person that is of love and of God and goodness, when people around you, some change should be coming out of you that is abrasive enough to penetrate what they're going through. Because when you are of love and God and a sound mind, certain stuff not gonna come in your space anyway.
Thank you, Ivy.
So in reality, like, don't be so harsh and critical to people. They already know. Like I promise, I've said this over and over and over. If somebody know they not something, you don't got to tell them. They already know. Tell them what they can be. Tell them what they are capable of. Don't take it and make it a bashing session. That's the moment when you see your brother or sister weakness. It's not for you to capitalize on it. It's for you to cover it. We don't cover each other enough. We don't say, you know what, maybe she don't know. Look at the times you didn't know. It might not be the same situation.
Maybe she's hurting.
Maybe hurt people. But in this process, are you going to be part of that hurt? Or are you going to take and say, well, you know what, bring some understanding to the table. Bring some enlightenment. Give some food for knowledge. I feel like when we have problems with people.
Fill up a person's cup. We constantly taking from the cup but never wanted to help refill it.
That's true.
Our cup is always on half empty, only because we started out behind the 8 ball. So now we have each other, and we're constantly emptying the storage that someone has. I talked about it this morning about everything in a vehicle. You have a reservoir. You know what I'm saying? If you're putting too much gas in your car, it's going to start spitting back out at you. your mind is always consumed with how to be better than someone else. That's all the internet is. That's all social media is about. Constantly wanting to show what you have or who you are. Apologize. Today, we just threw something on. I seen somebody say something about the Gucci, said something about the clothing. This is really spontaneous, just throwing something on. I'm talking about this is 20 something, 25 years old. It's from my New Jersey days. I am that person that back then I was a different person, but that still doesn't take nothing away from our character, our spirit. We walk around and the glow that's on us, you on the wrong TikTok or video or slide, if that's what you're hearing. If what we have on is speaking louder than what we're speaking about, this is not us. This is very seldom us. This is my wife doing a shirt. I'm trying to match her, but we are the ones that's coming for you. We are the ones that's knowing that it's a need in our community that's lost. Understanding that people out here need you, want you, you're something, you're worthy, you're worth it. That's when you'll stop looking at others and criticizing or being judgmental and start understanding that this is what destroys us. This is what keeps us separated. This is what stops the love. A man looks for respect. A woman looks for love. Within that relationship, it's a difference. You know what I mean? She can tell me she loved me. My wife will tell you, when we first met, she say she loved me, and I say, I don't know. Once you get to know me, you might not even like me. Because I gave her all of who I was originally. I'm not somebody that's gonna give you somebody else just to get you. No, I want you to know who I am because I want you to know what you're dealing with.
Well, I don't know if that's who you were. That's who you were, because who you are now is totally different. That's who you was at the moment.
But that's somebody that has conditioned himself for the relationship because I've seen something that was worth me working on the things. I told you when you met me, I'm working on myself. I'm trying to get myself to a better place. I'm working on myself. So that was me already in the process. You just intensified that work that I had, that I wanted to do within myself once it got to that point.
You see how he got me all? What is it? You see how he get me? You see how he got me? You see why I'm like, man, where you at? Where you home when you come home? See how that's how he get me all right now. That's smooth.
I ran for a minute, but I told her instantly, if I see you with somebody else, I wouldn't like it. I felt the vibe. I seen her spirit before I seen who she was. I got you. Once you get older, you get past that person's their beauty or what they shape is like. And don't get me wrong, my wife is beautiful, but that's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see her heart. I wanted to see that she's gonna take care of me in those days that I'm gonna need her. Does she has my back? Is she gonna drop what she doing and make it to where I'm at? I don't have that understanding of making me wait when it comes down to me in need of something, because I'm never gonna make you wait. My wife can breathe, and if she needs something to help her breathe, I'm out there pumping air into her spirit, pumping air into her lungs. I'm that attentive to the things that my wife needs because that's how I want her to see me. If we learn, and that's something we had to teach, you know what I'm saying? That's something coming from a single mother, coming from a household with her daddy, and she's daddy's girl. Some of these things she had to learn to do. Some of these things she had to say, wow, yeah, this is a different breed. This is something that I want to give. Men, you have to be that man that makes that woman want to give you them things that you know you deserve and need. Know your worth. I knew my worth. She knew her worth. So being we both knew our worth, we wasn't going to tolerate the mediocre that you may have gave someone else. No, we deserve the best just like you deserve the best. And I'm going to try to give you my best. What's yours?
I think that's true. I think when he said
Just
make,
obsessed me.
he didn't mean like literally make guys. He's saying be what you're looking for. Because as the leader, he's the teacher. So in reality, when you're teaching as the leader, women that are independent, strong, whatever you want to call it, they're gonna test you, fellas. Just if you telling me 1, 2, 3, you can't show me 4, 5, 6. And I do believe that the more you sanctify yourself, you start to sanctify each other. Like the more you sanctify yourself, the more you're gonna sanctify each other. Because when I see you doing good, now I'm like, wow, look, he didn't respond to that. Like this is another example. So my husband like OCD, he gonna iron the shirt for 2 hours. Me, I'm gonna boom boom over my shirt because my shirt gonna get wrinkled. Usually my clothes don't get wrinkled because I hang up all my stuff. So I had ironed him a shirt. He goes back over the shirt, and I just looked at him, but I didn't pay attention to it. He was like, "Well, babe, you used to would have got mad if I would have did that." And in my mind, I'm so far past losing my peace. A lot of times we be thinking people cause us to lose peace. No, you lose your own peace. If my baby want to iron on his shirt again, I know I did my part. If he want to take it another mile, go ahead. I got to go ahead and get ready. We make small things combative because you're saying I didn't do a good job. If you feel like you need to do that for you to feel okay about your shirt, who am I to get involved? I got to keep going. So and when he said that, I kind of just laughed. Like when you grow up, marriage supposed to grow you up. You have growing pains. I did used to get completely mad and didn't want to iron his clothes or didn't want to pull his stuff out because I felt like he just was always doing something extra. But now it's like, oh, okay, because I'm trying to be in a place of peace. I can't be the person that is compromising my peace because I want everything my way. It don't work like that. Is it really worth it? Am I going to ruin my day? I have. You know how many times you could be childish? Marriage is not for childish, selfish people. I'm telling you, it's just not, because you're gonna go crazy, 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 crazy about nothing. He just like to do stuff his way, and I have to not take it personally. And when he said it, I laughed, he laughed. We kept on going and kept it moving. But we've had to work through the small things that created big problems because of only children bumping heads, not used to sharing, not listening to, the opposite person. But when you start falling back and humbling yourself, you just really realize that your partner is really cool. Mm-hmm. We take away from each other by not allowing them to be themselves. Not saying, be mean or nasty, but like me, I don't like stuff in my refrigerator. I'd rather throw the whole refrigerator away for it to be out of order. My husband came to reality. She crazy. She want this refrigerator to look a certain way. If it ain't neat, she gonna start pulling stuff out and changing it around. But now what I do, I'll tell him.
That's just Gregory. Gregory, thank you, man. You're right. What you said up top previously. But thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. But just like we were talking, you can see comments in the comment section, and some have that insecurity within themselves that they need to attack someone. But you're not attacking. You can't attack someone with the Spirit of God that they speak through. We pray and allow God to speak through us to help others. Feeling like this is a waste while we're listening, that again reiterates the mental health that a lot of people deal with, a lot of insecurities and fear that we just gonna attack one another. We're not saying anything to challenge who you are as a man, Big Orange. We're not saying anything to hurt who you are as a person. We're trying to give some knowledge and understanding to people that want it and need it. We're struggling out here as men and women. We're struggling as people. Ultimately, that's the sad part of it all, is because we're struggling, but we're so busy to attack someone. We're not at our best. We're not being our best. We're not representing the best aspect of God. But then we have a nerve to want to criticize and speak negative towards people that's trying to give out the love of God. What's wrong with us? What's going on with our lives that's what we giving off? This is what we want to do. This is who we want to show the best part. That's the best part of you. That's sad if that's the best part of you as a man. We have to get to a place where we're so proudful of who we are as people and coming from the Creator that we love you. I love you even in the mindset that you're walking in, even in the disturbed place that you may be in, because I know you need that love.
Well, I don't know.
I need your prayers. I have been struggling a lot lately in the dark space. Keep speaking, my brother. Your life can. Another. That's what I'm saying. Thank you. I'm just. I don't allow nothing to break my voice, because I done been through it all. Like I said, everything that was tried to be thrown at me, I made it through it, and I don't look like what I've been through. I don't smell like smoke, and I'm still bringing love to my community, to my people. I'm well known wherever I go, and I give out love. That's what we're here for. If you don't want that, then, I mean, it's easy to swipe up.
But I mean, it's a thing called, I mean, what it say? I'm lost. Y'all can't see this. What it say?
Nah, baby, keep rolling.
Well, you know.
Sorry, typo change another.
In reality, you know,
Thank you. What's your name?
Distractions are gonna come. So
I can't see very well. I think
you had 2020. What's
Shadi.
going on?
Shadi.
What's up? Whoever y'all are.
God works. That's right.
You know.
That's right. Let's change the narrative. Let's change the platform. We got so much negative out here on social media lines.
Though.
It's expected, but it's not needed. It's not needed when people are out here saying they're suffering and they need this word. They need this thing. You can discourage the word of somebody that's giving you something to help you live, to fill your tank up, to help you get further, to move forward. So understand that everybody doesn't need it. When we have that, change it. You don't have to be negative. Trust me. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be hateful. Because I was called that at one time in my earlier days. But you know, I know that the love that God put in me, I have to give it away. I can't take it with me. And the first ones I start with, this is where I learned from, loving on my family.
That's true. What I was saying is...
See, wife be a battle cat. She ready to just, who is that? Who said what?
No, because like...
But you never entertain the ignorance, and that's where you learn that from. You don't entertain negative behavior. You don't be a part of it. That exemplifies it.
Distraction's gonna come. And so with negative and positive, you have to remain unfocused and unbothered by situations, because you can't have good without evil. It's just, if you don't have no evil pursuing you, that means you in the evil side yourself. So when you feel like you are in a dark place.
Yeah, speak to her, baby.
When you feel like you're in a dark place, sometimes some things only grow in the dark. Some things can't have a lot of sunlight because the sunlight will burn it up because it's fragile. Sometimes you have to go through an incubation period. I studied the caterpillar because I love butterflies, but the process of the butterfly has nothing to do really with the caterpillar, because the caterpillar got to go through so much before it becomes a butterfly. But do you know how much pain that a caterpillar has to go through when it busts out of its cocoon? It bursts thousands of blood vessels to get out of that cocoon, because it's in the dark for a long time, and it's literally just in that cocoon wrapped up in a dark place. But once you break out of that darkness, you have different colors as a butterfly. You have different patches on you as a butterfly.
That's true, Crystal.
And so when you're going through a dark place, remember that the sun is going to shine no matter how you feel. And the moon is going to come out at night, and usually stars come out. But just keep on holding on for that next second, for that next moment. because that's something I want to really, really discuss is mental health, because it is very, very dear to my heart. People are suffering in silence, and a lot of people don't have hope because of people that are hopeless. They don't care about you jumping off the edge.
They want to push you because
Suicide
they're so beat up
is
inside.
so real. So we have to be mindful how we handle people. We have to be very careful with our mental capacity of being fragile. We all are fragile. We don't know what none of us are going through or enduring. But I would say don't give up, because I've been in a dark place. I was so low. You don't know God until you're on the upside of knowing God. When people always talk about, oh, God is good and you don't know God. When you upside down, you bottom out, and you in the dark place, don't even know if you're gonna be able to get your head off your pillow. And then God make them, when you looking at a person who have been at the lowest of the low, and I know God. I know I have a connection with him. I know all these things, but things wasn't working for me until I had to surrender, and I stopped doing things. I allowed him to do what he needed to do within me. And a lot of it is uncomfortable, but
And it's
never.
just changing. He's working on them areas that had scars. So when you're in a dark place, a lot of times, just like when you go into the hospital, and sometimes they may sedate you so your body can rest. So that dark place is your time to rest. Your time to rest and regroup and think of all the things that you have already been through. Think of all the things that you already conquered. Because if you're here, that means the resilience in you was able to fight back to keep you going. So never allow that dark place to consume you to the point that you don't know who you come from, what you come from. It's a moment. We operate like as if we're human beings with a soul, but we're a soul with a flesh. Our soul is what should be leading us, but instead we allow the flesh to lead us, and that's why we get in so much trouble, because the flesh is full of the ego, and when you have ego, I say it again, it edges God out. How do you edge out God when that's the only thing that you have? And when you leave here, you came in with nothing, you leave with nothing. The things that you do throughout your life, it ain't gonna matter how much money you got. It's not gonna matter how many shows, how many this, how many that how many cars in your yard, how many toys you may have. It's not gonna matter. Only thing you're gonna be thinking about is your loved ones. And the best thing about you, what you can do is give that love out. In your dark days, sister, go out and maybe try to help someone else. I noticed that helps lift my spirits up by giving somebody else some encouragement, helping other people through what they're going through. This is how this process started. We started out with little boys, age 6 to 12. I've been doing it my whole life, just about. My wife made me legitimize it when she seen me literally taking kids to the movies, taking them to the park, taking them to the zoo, teaching them self-defense, teaching them anti-bullying, teaching them things that they're going to need, ballroom dancing, all these different things that I decided to give of myself. That's why we are here to help from young to old. I think as most programs, when we was writing our business plan, the lady said, you know, you need to stick to one program, one group of people. And I always said that I did not want to do that. I was trying to open up an account. They didn't want to allow me because I decided that I didn't want to just deal with veterans with PTSD. I wanted to deal with a broad spectrum. How about their kids? How about their siblings? How about their family that's suffering? I don't want to minimize. How do you minimize something that's so large? God is the largest thing that we have. But society makes you want to minimize them and think about all the other things to control you. So it's okay for the system and the government to control you, but we won't relinquish and surrender ourselves to the creator of you.
I think a lot of powers that be has implemented that. You know, we have the hierarchy, we have the average. And so what happens is we are divided on purpose. Because how can you help a man, but you're not willing to help his wife and children? And so I think that's the breakdown, and that's where we're different at. We help anywhere from babies. I mean, it's three summers.
Literally, yeah. We
Three
had
summers
kids
ago, I
pop
had
off.
a whole baby. That wasn't mine. It's like I literally
Didn't even
kept
know the
her.
baby.
We bought clothes. We bought Pampers, whatever this baby need. We kept this baby literally for a whole summer. And so those are the things, I don't talk about them abroad. I'm just giving you an example of when there is a need, you meet it. It doesn't matter how big or small. It doesn't matter if I feel like I'm doing it or I feel I don't want to do it. It was times where, you know, I was exhausted, but I made room for the need that was placed before me. A lot of us want to be used by God until it's time to be used. Now I got this to do.
So it's time
I
to
can't
clock
do this.
in.
I'm tired. I got my own kids. You're talking to a person that was a teen mom, single mother, 3 kids, considered a statistic. But my children don't look like what my life had presented to me. So I understand darkness. When I tell you, you keep getting up and getting up and getting up, you might not see that breakthrough today. You might not see that breakthrough tomorrow. But trust me, you're looking at a real survivor. Not a just, I'm an overcomer, because a lot of things I don't even discuss that I've been through. I literally have accepted it, got my chin up and my shoulders back, and I kept it pushing because at some point I knew that it was, I didn't know if it was going to be in my late 30s, 40s, 50s. I knew that if I kept getting up each day, that something would break through for me, something would change for me, something would help me see another day. And I promise you, God will give you glimpses, but don't close your eyes and give up. You always have I tell my children, my grandchildren, my husband, have great expectations.
Happy Sunday.
Have great expectations on what God can do for you. Because the moment you never ever count yourself out. We don't count nobody else out. So why would you, don't count yourself out. You can do those hard things, because when God is telling you no, sometimes it come in rejection. Sometimes it come in being broke up with. Sometimes it come in with losing a job. Sometimes you feel demoted, but that no on the opposite side of no is yes. So when he keep pulling you through these different seasons of your life, and you look back and see them no's was protection, when you look back and see those relationships was no good, now you can say, God, thank you. You might not want to say thank you, but don't wait till you get to the finish line to start saying thank you. Start thanking him in spite of what you're feeling, because our emotions make us double-minded and unstable. Now we can't think straight. Now we feeling depressed. Now we feeling like we losers.
But you're gonna go through it, and
You're gonna go through it.
The best part about it is when you're going through it, I have the tendency to think about it as if he's thinking of me. God knows that it's a gospel song. God knows my name. We are so unique. Every one of us are different. Every one of us are designed uniquely different in our own way. And to know that God did this as he created us for a reason, and that's for him to know who we are individually. And when you don't communicate, pray, meditate, talk, he can't work and activate the core of God that's inside of you. He's with you every single day, but when you're not actively seeking him, he's unable to operate and work through some of these situations. I said it before, we supposed to flow. We don't supposed to get stuck in situations. We supposed to flow through them. We supposed to keep it moving. We get so combative. We get so knocked out of our position because a car cut you off. Now you ready to find them, follow them, track them down. And the fact is, that moment that car cut you off, it may have saved your life. You could have been ahead of that car and got into an accident. So many different things we take as a bad. You drive and you get into traffic, you pissed. Oh, I got to get there. We allow everything to control our emotions. We are nothing but light switches. Same way you go in your house and cut your lights on, you don't suppose society in the world does not supposed to cut you on and off when they get ready. That's something that we allow to go on in our lives every single day, and then we don't understand why we're overwhelmed. We don't understand why the gas handle is in there, but the tank is full, and now everything I got is spilling out all over the place. It's spilling out onto my kids. It's spilling out onto my family. It's spilling out on my job. So now I can't contain nothing because I'm on overload. Sit down. First thing in the morning, disconnect from this world. Disconnect from the world. Close your mind off to everything. It's not going to miss you. When you open your eyes and you come out of your meditation, the same thing that was there when you gave God his time is going to be there when you open your eyes. But you're going to have more clarity. You're going to have more understanding. You're going to have more vision to see that path that you might need to be on. Ask questions. Find out, what do you want from me? What can I do? How can I surrender to the will that I need to do?
That's true. You know, that's what I was telling Zion. I said, Zion, I want you to ask God about your AAU season that's going to come up shortly. I want you to ask him where he wants you to be, and I want you to ask him, are you placed where he has you? Whenever you have, I didn't pray this over him. I just kind of brought it up for him to put that in the ear of God, because I don't know where it even came from, but I understand that when you talk to him, he'll make things so clear to you that you may not need a response. And I want to really clarify, like, sometimes people, when when you hear the voice of God, I think we all are very unique. We all have. Can you imagine having 1 billion people on the planet and nobody fingerprints match?
Nobody. Teeth.
Even identical twins don't have the same fingerprints.
Yeah.
Okay,
Structure.
with that being said, that we are very, very individual, but we're very, very unique. But he also made us very collective. And so as people, we've left out the collectiveness part. Like, we've left out the part that, you could take my heart out of my chest and give it to somebody else that was able to accept it. Never knowing me, no kin to me. All they need is the same blood type, and they can receive my heart. So with that being said, God is showing us through this advance of medical advancement that y'all are the same. But we spend so much time trying to be individuals instead of understanding that collectively we are one big melting pot of people.
Because it's big business.
Yeah, so
that's the biggest thing of us all, because it's big business. And when it's big business, that's the focus. Every one of us is about the business plan. The powers that be is about business. If I keep y'all fighting amongst each other, we're going to sell more guns. We're going to sell more bullets. We're going to sell more hate this. We're going to sell this.
The music.
Everything that comes out is for us to be destroyed mentally. They want your minds to be so confused with where you're supposed to be as a person that you can't even think about what they're doing behind closed doors. We're so eager to criticize and talk about one another, but the whole time they getting slick. They breaking us down. They raising prices. They doing everything they can do to keep showing us that it's not you against your neighbor. We're the ones you need to be. We're the ones y'all need to join forces against. If we join forces, this world can be different. The people that they put in office, they put them there. No matter what votes come, what votes you vote, who you pick, they're gonna decide who they sit there. that can either calm down the masses for us to give back a little bit. It's a game of chess, and they mastered the game of chess. We're still playing checkers. We still wanna jump you 2 times and think we done got somewhere. No, you until you learn the long game, and that's what old people used to. It's a long game. That long term understanding of what we come from, what we've been through, and how we must unite to fight against the forces that's definitely trying to destroy you. That affects your mind. Allow this world to be what it is.
That's
Step
true.
away from it and say, I'm not going to be a part of all that. I'm not going to let that destroy my thoughts. I'm not going to let it beat me up.
That's true. I encourage you guys to read a little. I'm reading a book about the little boy who went to heaven, which is based on a true story. But as soon as I get through reading that, I want to read a book Zion got from Clemson, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's a catchy.
You're right.
Praise.
Both candidates have skeletons. They can't be a part of that organization they can't be a part of that group without having skeletons. That's a part of the rituals that they have to go through to be a part of that. So understand that's not your world.
That's not gonna.
Stop getting caught up. My mother told me a long time ago, she said, stop looking at the news. I called her one day and was just so bothered about stuff I was seeing and stuff I was going through. And I'm telling you, I still, to this day, and she's been gone now for 2 years, her birthday. Matter of fact,
It's the two. Cause
today is the 30th.
no, it's not today. It's in 2 days. It's Tuesday.
Happy heavenly birthday to my mother. But when I say she was the GOAT, she was a black woman that fought for rights, women rights, men rights, marched on Washington. She's a historian. She had 4 or 5 master's degrees, never had a student loan, and just was so compelled to giving me something to be able to stand as a man and not have that fear of who or what I come from. She never told me to sign up for any religion. She never pushed any religion down my throat. One thing she told me is, she said, doing the right thing is the most godliest thing you can do. That's the closest to God that you can be, is doing the right thing. That's something that's uniquely different, because she didn't want me to be controlled by what is out here. Not with the Nation of Islam, not with Christianity, not with any type of religion whatsoever. She wanted me to be a part of that God community, that loving community. I don't want to battle with you. I don't want to go against you. I don't want to decide what makes your book better than mine. What rules and regulations, what was your book talking about? And that keeps us divided. If religion and things supposed to be about love, how does it separate us? That's not God. God is about unity, unifying us.
That's the hard thing with religion, political, because you don't see unity.
Because now the politics is, religion is in the politics. Now it's hand in hand.
But if you think
You
about
seeing
it,
it on the
like,
entertainment, on the videos, on
it's whether it's political, whether it's religious, unity is not being shown, not even within families, not within.
Yeah, we done got all off track,
But
man.
you start getting.
I know.
You start turning.
I started trying to read.
Don't turn me into Martin Luther King X, because you know it. Don't make me.
That's what my son, the baby boy, called her when she started ranting. He was like, "That's Martin Luther King X."
Like, don't.
She both of them.
Hey, at the end of the day, he's like, Mom, why everything got to turn into a sermon? Because you need it.
What's the National Sunday Law?
I don't know.
I'm saying this is person's asking, do y'all know about the National Sunday Law? No, what is that about?
I don't know. Tell us. We're willing to learn.
Yeah.
We're willing to, be open, because I personally felt like
Nobody knows it all.
Nobody knows it all. And one thing I learned as a young age is that if somebody tell you something about them, listen.
You know one of the biggest challenges in the world is relationships. You're going to have to try to figure out working on relationships until you leave this world. Even on your last day, you're still wondering, how did you do in the relationships that you had?
Well, hopefully I did
That's
good.
all we have.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Our relationships.
I think
Where are you at in your relationships?
I think that's a good thing to know, that it's not a finished product. It's not gonna be we good today, we perfect tomorrow. No.
Well, they ain't gonna force me to go to church. I guess I'll be going to jail, probably.
I be visiting him.
I guess we'll be going to jail. You gonna be visiting me? You going to jail too? They gotta make a sale for couples. We sitting in there together.
Somebody gotta take care. Somebody gotta hold it. Somebody gotta get us out.
They ain't never, hey, if you ain't going to church, you're going to jail, he said. They're going to force you to go to church.
I believe that the control, now this is something, I don't really get, boisterous on religion, because I understand that some people are so strong about certain things that.
Come on, he said they're going to freeze your banking account. Well, good
they
thing.
May. Well, they freeze my.
Good thing I don't like putting money in the bank like that.
Babe. So, that's what I was saying. Now you don't.
I don't know, but we about to
end it. But like I said, I feel like.
But brother, I just want to say something real quick to you. Don't let that bother you. Don't let that get into your mind.
They will.
Because that's what they want to do. They want to keep us in conflict.
By the time they do that, we'll be gone.
They can't.
Every generation, there's nothing new under the sun. What they're doing now, they've been doing it. The only difference is that everything is more visual because of social media. We have more access.
He said in 2026, it will be no more cash. Everything will be.
What?
Trust me.
My grandma 92. She ain't never had a bank account. Okay, 92 ain't never had a bank account.
Trust me.
They're gonna have cash.
It's too much old dirty money that they still got hidden.
That's one thing.
They ain't never gonna get rid of the cash.
A lack of knowledge.
It's free.
For one of the powers that be. You know why people keep cash?
We are. Thank you. They said, be encouraged, brother, sister, and brother.
Thank you. One thing about cash is untraceable. So trust me, the United States will never get rid of cash because that is one source of
I thought blue law was for alcohol. I thought the blue law was for alcohol.
I don't know. Somebody's just talking. But cash is going to be here because... They're
not just talking about it.
Oh, it is. Stuff. About the blue law.
That might be something they really...
I thought you said blue law.
They did. They said, you ever heard of blue law? I thought blue law was with alcohol.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But they still have that. They're changing that. Now they said alcohol on Sundays. We don't drink, so we don't know. We guessing. Don't take our word for it. But, don't allow...
I do know the rules. I used to drink.
Hey, the blue laws. You don't know the blue laws.
No, I don't know that about. I was in a state that you had to go to the next town.
Charlotte.
Remember Asheville, right? And there's certain places in Asheville.
I remember. I know Charlotte doesn't have it. But anywho. Focus on God. Because if you think that, I'm telling you, thinking about money, thinking about tomorrow, thinking about tonight, it's only going to make you obsessive and compulsive. Like, in reality, the government is going to do what it want to do.
They're going to do what they want to do.
It doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. They're going to do what they want to do.
They're going to do what they want to do.
And the ones you voted for.
And you have no control.
So
why stress about something that you can't control?
I personally vote not because I care who's going to be the president. I'm going to eat. I'm going to do what I got to do. I vote because my ancestors died for the cause to me so I could have a vote. I feel like that's a certain rights and privileges that we have as African Americans. We should exercise our votes because people, they wanted to make a change. We keep talking about Malcolm X, which I love.
That's true.
Martin Luther King, I love, but they really haven't been a movement since. So the change that they did and that they were willing to, people are not willing to die for what they love. They were willing to die for change for us.
But I do think even with that, it still was a conspiracy to get us thinking that we were making a difference.
But the people that died...
I'm not saying... let me finish. I'm still saying, ultimately, they did it to have us in a way of believing that they gave us something, and ultimately, at the end of At the end of any agenda, they still have the power. They still have the control. When Trump said, "I'm sending out them checks," and Congress vetoed it, what did he do? He did what he wanted to do.
He did the
So
presidential.
ultimately, they're gonna do what, like we said, you have to keep your mind safe. And allowing all this stuff out here that's going on to distract you from seeking and getting into yourself and understanding that we all fight for peace. It seems like that's the only thing that we're united on. Everybody wants peace, but we don't have a clue how to find it.
And when
We're
find
so
it,
confused
we lose
and
it.
lost that we thinking it's in more money I make. We think it is in a bigger house that I buy. We think it is a better car. We think all these things going to bring us happiness, and then we ultimately still be at the same spot we was before. We still never climb out of that hole. So is the things, the materialistic things that we achieve making you happy? No. That's not it. You have to look inside. You have to go back inside and go back to the root. Who was I when I was coming in? Where did I go wrong? What happened? Okay, let me separate these things.
What did I do?
Let me regroup. Let me surrender to who I know created me. And step back from you. Step back and be able to observe. That's what me and my wife was talking about the other day. We listened to a lot of meditation type of speakers, and one of them, he been advising us to observe yourself and observe what's going on in your life. He said, when you find yourself criticizing, you're going into a negative zone. You're operating in a negative climate. Change the way you look at things. Change the way you communicate things. Change the way we say things. Because when you start going on that route, you end up getting stuck in it. And now you're stuck in between a place that's between criticism and judgment. And ultimately, you're judging and criticizing someone about the things that you don't like about yourself. You want to portray your hatred, your frustration about you onto someone else because you never want to look inside and fix the problems that are within you. If a relationship breakup, yeah, it may not have been right. Yeah, this person could have been this. But what part did you play? How did I handle this situation? What could I have done differently? What can I do better? And once you start self-evaluating yourself, then you can regroup and come back. Like my wife said, there is a rebirth. Coming to the knowledge and the accountability and the awareness of what you've done in your life to create the person that you behaving like. Where's your integrity? Where's your character? What are they saying about you when they see you walk in? Are you bringing light to the building, or is it darkness? Soon as you walk in, everything gets quiet and everybody stops talking.
That's
Or
why
are they glad to see you?
I'm gonna tell you something. When people love you, they hate to see you leave. I'm telling you, you could be at grandma's house all day. She gonna say, "Why you leaving early? You just got here."
They've been there all
I've been
day.
here all day.
All day.
I'm telling you, old as I am, I got to go see my grandma. She say, "I'm old, y'all. I ain't old as dirt, but I'm old." And when I walk out that door, she say, "Be good. Be good." I said, "Bye, grandma. See you later. Be good." And I'm thinking in my mind, she's told me this my whole life as a little bitty girl. Be good. Be careful. Be good. Be good. Be careful. And my granddaddy, when he was alive, he used to throw in, "Just be good at it." You know, he got the Papa got to say something crazy to offset what Grandma done said. But in reality, every time we walk out that door, we should be good. Even when life is throwing you curveballs, even when things are hard, be good. You can be good.
I'll look it up, Heater Man.
You can be good. I've been telling myself every day, my life is perfect.
But I really don't look up a lot of stuff with it based on laws and stuff just because I'm trying to get to a better place just physically, mentally, health wise. You get older as men, and so many things get into us that we don't pay attention to our well being. So I'm trying to. I've been the head of my family. I take care of my family. So my wife is telling me that it's time for me to, focus on taking care of myself, and not without taking care of my family, but I'm always doing something. And she has to remind me that, when you're not doing something, I'm doing something. That's how much we're active in the community, in lives and people. And now it's time really to focus on getting myself where I want to be.
Emotionally and
Emotionally
spiritually.
and spiritually. It has nothing to do with financially. I'm not putting that in the game plan, because God has been providing. He's always provided for me. They call me Tommy. My family look at me like, I say, I gotta go to work. Well, you ain't got. I do have a job. I do work.
But I tell you one thing: if you work for God, it's a little different. Like, some people. And we're not saying, because when I tell you I work more than the person who worked, like our baby, just
And we
being.
do. And we do. I'm sorry, babe. I don't want to cut you off, but I want to reply. You right, brother. We do put our family first, and and we get rewarded for it. But at the same time, you got to take care of your mental health. You got to be able to tell your wife when you're not feeling well, when something is aching or hurting. You got to be able to communicate in a way, because we do put on the best face, for we don't have them worrying. But like my wife said earlier, they can take more than we can. They can deal with situations better than we can a lot of times, because they're going to think about taking care of you. They're not going to think about what you're going through at the moment. Her main concern is going to be, I need to get you to a doctor. I need to get you to the emergency room. I need to make sure how you feel. Go back there, take your blood pressure. My wife on me with every single thing. So you're right. We do put our family first, and you should.
When you put your family first, most families are gonna honor you and put you first as well. So you're never gonna be in the red. So with that being said, making sure you go to the doctors, get regular checkups, keep your stress level down. And I'm always encouraging my husband to stop. Like, he has to tell me, baby, you rip and run. And I'm thinking, well, my rip and run just a minimal. I'm like, from room to room, you ripping and running all day.
And I
He
want
said,
brothers to
he
see.
was like, I'm resting. I'm like, you resting, but you out here putting the grill together. How you resting? But
Because
it was
stuff like
relaxing.
that to me,
It was relaxing. That was something he wanted to do. But at the same time, understanding that, I mean, we don't know. We had 3 people in our house, and one of our window panes got broke. So we don't know. We ain't saying it was the grandkillers, but we just gonna say it was somebody in our house broke one of our window panes.
and I replaced the window pane.
I'm
Everything
like,
in my house, I want God to know I appreciate what He's done for me. We call our home God's home. Everybody that comes in this home says they're at peace. So we want to make it. If something go wrong, I'm the first to let me see what I can do. I want to, because I can look at it, I can dissect it, I can break it down. I know if you take it off, my Uncle Mitch told me, if you take it off, put it back the same way you took it off. So most of the things in the house, I'm gonna do the basics. I can put a window in, I can put up ceiling fans, I can put up light fixtures. Everything in this house that was done that needed to be done, I did, and that's peaceful to me. But men, I want y'all to reach out to me, because if you need someone that can help you go through the process of getting doctor's appointments, getting stuff situated and set up for yourself. If you don't have that person, I would like to be that person to people that can help them. I would research where's a doctor at in your location. I would contact, listen, this is your date. We have to start being accountable for one another. This is why one of the brothers was talking about how we don't take care of one another. You don't have to be my blood relation. You don't have. We are related. We're related by the Spirit. We're related because we came from the same Creator. So you are my brother. If it's something I can give you on tips how to get right, it helps.
That knowledge. I'll tell anybody that's
Oh,
on here.
that's right. I have a bad habit of not listening to my wife to just go and get blood work done. I just got it done, brother.
I'm gonna tell you, but you wanna
I
tell
just
about it?
got it done.
So the doctor tried to act like they was having an issue at one doctor. So my baby was like, "Well, babe, it ain't been a year. Well, it's another year, and we gonna get it done." He said, "Well, we can wait till tomorrow." I said, "Okay." Pulled right up into the doctor's office. If y'all would have seen the stare down he gave me, it was so funny because our baby boy, he does the same thing. Like they think I'm overprotective of them. And so he just kind of looked at me. I felt the side of my face on fire, like. So we got in, he got his blood work. So 2 days later, we was at the park with our grandkids and all his stuff came back perfect. And I said, and he was just smiling. And I said, men, it's better to know, because usually y'all worrying about something that's not even there. You thinking, oh, I'm sick, oh, I'm dying, this is my last week. You healthier than all of us put together. So the more information you have about your health, the better off it's gonna take away those extra thoughts of I'm getting
And see,
old.
that's the difference with a man and a woman. That's why we're meant for each other. That's why that unison is needed, because she has that courage that you may lack in. And we can be big men. I see my man, you say trucking. So 9 times out of 10, you probably a truck driver. So we have that we got it, we got it, we got it. But when it comes down to taking care of ourselves, now if it was your wife, you'll be pushing her in, babe. You know you got your appointment. Make sure you make it. We gonna go when they gotta have the mammograms. Make sure, babe, this is that time of the month, this that year. We have to have that same kind of, and I get nervous too, but I don't allow it to prevent me from going. I definitely, I may put it off a day. I may put off my first visit, maybe June 23rd. I might not get to them till July 3rd, but that's just me. I'm a type of person, I'm going to eat my foods. I'm going to drink my stuff. I'm going to do a cleansing. I'm going to do a meditation. I'm going to do what you call it?
You do so
I'm going
much.
to do a fasting. I'm going to go through the procedures. And so when I go in there, I know it's going to come out good, because I'm working that process, and it's not just stopping there. When I left the doctor this time and I was down 20 pounds, I decided I'm going to keep fighting for it. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep dropping this weight. I'm going to keep going. And I'm just a big guy in general. My mother was big. My father was big. I'm just a big guy, 6'3". But I do understand as I get older, I have to take accountability for my health. I want to be here. I want to be here for my family. I want to be here for my grandkids. So
And your wife, first of all.
yes, for my wife. There are men out here that's in their 60s, 70s, 80s that's still working out, still running. I got my realtor, her husband is probably in his 70s, 79.
Really?
Yeah. He's still cutting grass, still got grass contracts. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I'm 64, 300. That's what I'm saying. But in the mornings, I get up and I walk. I do 4 miles, 4 to 5 miles every morning. I got a step tracker. 8,000 and something miles is 4,000 miles. It's 4 miles. 8,000 steps is 4 miles. And I try to do that every morning. Get up, brother. Get up and take a walk. Get up and talk to God. Give your time that energy, and it doesn't have to be a fast pace. You can take your time, enjoy the breeze, enjoy the walk, enjoy the birds, and just that's your time to have your personal conversation with God. Have a direct conversation. Listen, man, I'm struggling. And allow that peace to give you clarity, because we think that you're necessarily going to hear a voice. No, a lot of time it's that clarity that comes to your mind that gives you the positive thoughts. The negative thoughts will start to cease. health, walking, it takes a lot of the stress away. We don't even realize just taking walks.
Digressing. Being in nature, I don't know where you guys stay at. If you stay in the city or you stay in the country, just start to walk up to your nearest stop sign and turn around.
Heater Man, I'm on Facebook, Jay Dunlap. I'm on TikTok. We on YouTube. You can message me. I got a little regimen I can send you. It starts you off slow. I got some weights in the garage. My wife will wake up in the morning, and that's the thing. We can be committed and dedicated to going to work every day. We could be committed and dedicated to fixing on a car or working in the yard.
Making money.
We can be dedicated to, like she said, making money. But we're not dedicated to taking care of the first temple that God gave us.
The only you don't get no take back, no Jake back.
You're right. This is the only temple He gave us.
You get one temple.
These buildings are not the temples He gave us.
Because in reality, I think that's why a lot of men. I was talking to someone, and I was just talking about my husband. Like, the kids know that Jermaine said I was your security guard, but I don't want to walk around being a widow. I just don't. So certain things you have to keep reincinerating. And if your wife is trying to tell you stop, she don't want to be without you. Money gonna come and go. You're gonna have some good seasons, some bad seasons, but a real woman, your wife, is gonna stand with you no matter what. So
thank you, Black Power.
That's the moment when you realize, okay, I have to take care of myself. Because taking care of me and not taking care of you, you're going to end up not being here, and that's not going to be good for me. So take that. But men haven't been taught that. Men have been taught, you go to work, you pay these bills, you tell everybody what to do, you go to bed. And so what happens is,
get up and repeat the process.
The man loses himself. They don't have midlife crisis. They haven't had time to think. So by the time that they think, they panic, because it's like, I haven't had time to think about all these things.
So before we get off, babe, give some advice to the ladies of what they can do to assist their husbands.
Don't be petty. All right, be realistic, because going to the doctor is
scary.
It's scary. It's a lot of uncertainty there. I feel like if you explain to them how important they are to you, I think that makes it more, like, my husband can cough. If he coughs more than 3 times, he already know. I'm not asking him, do he want to go to the doctor? Babe, your doctor's appointment is at 12:30. I'll meet you there.
All I say is okay. Okay.
Zion, Shane, I don't even want to tell her, because I know I'm going to be at the doctor. Because I want, what we ignore, we can't help. And so once we ignore something, a lot of times, by the time a man get to a doctor, the doctor gonna say, I wish he would have came 5 years ago. I wish he would have came 2 months ago. So the more maintenance, I'm gonna tell women, if your husband is getting maintenance on his car, but you're not maintaining your health, you don't even know nothing about your own personal self, now we're allowing things to become our God. Like that frustration, those irritabilities that you're dealing with, it's come from all these things that they don't have time to think. So as their helper, we got to create ways for them to feel comfortable enough to say, well, I'm real big about my chart, certain things. I check mine as I go. And so that goes back to what I was saying earlier about sanctifying your spouse. Certain things that you do, when they see you do it, it's like, okay, it's not that bad, because I have mammograms. I'd be nervous every time. But my husband's always go with me. He's usually the only man in the waiting room. And this last time I went, I said, when I was walking out, I said, it doesn't matter what they tell me, my husband got me. It took away all the anxiety that I was feeling. Just being there with each other. Don't let your husband go to the doctor by himself. Men are babies. That's somebody's child. I talked about this in a previous podcast, that men are strong, they're resilient, but they also a person. Don't take away the humanity of a man by making him not touchable, he can't feel. And so when they get in their 50s and 60s, they spent their whole life giving and, taking themselves down. It's like a drill. I'm going. I gotta go. I gotta make this money. I gotta go to work. Da, 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 da. So you just drilling. So by the time you get through drilling, you at the bottom of the barrel and you look up. It's like, oh my God, what have I done? How did I get 6 feet under? Why nobody stop me? So when my husband get on that go mode, I get on that slow mode. Like, okay, babe, you coming home? Where you at? Or I get the grandkids, the baby looking for you, because you know what he like, you know what he love, you know what makes him tick. If I get to calling too much, he gonna be like, all right, babe, I'm on my way. I might, you can't tell a man, come home right now. Hey, can you come home? I'm hungry.
Thank you, boss lady.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. What you gonna eat? I don't know, but I'm starving. Can you bring me something to eat? Because if he come all the way home, he not turning around. He not going back to work once he drove all the way home. Now, once he get home, I make sure that his environment is clean and, now his nightstand be a little, because he got a lot of things. He like Zion. They got something for everything, for your beard, for your writing. But coming home to an environment where he can relax, and once he get home, it's like he don't want to go nowhere. He tired. He been tired. He just didn't tell himself to come home. So once he get here, now you can see just like the heaviness that comes off of him some days, just from, babe, it's getting dark. And now you see our size difference. You can't tell me I'm not my husband's security guard. I don't even feel safe when I'm not with him. I don't feel like he been gone for a few hours. It's time to come home. Now, if I'm with him, we can roll till the wheels fall off. But just letting them know the importance of who they are to your family. He might not be important to nobody, but if your husband know that he's important to you, baby, he coming back. He's gonna make sure he's safe. He's gonna go the extra mile to get back. Just because you set the tone of his importance to you. Don't let him be important to his mama. Don't let him be just important to his sisters. As a wife, make sure that your husband know without a shadow of a doubt that he is important, that you have his back.
Thank you, Heater, man. Much love to you, too. We appreciate you. Please look us up. Check us out. We started this with a podcast. That's on Spotify, and this rolls over, but my system was acting up, so this is what we did tonight. So we're probably going to be putting out, the title was
Relationships, real talk, real life, and real relationships.
Yeah, so hopefully look forward. It's going to be coming. Yes, my husband do, Javi. I want to say something to my man, the truck driver. Make sure you're eating healthy on that road, brother. If you on the road 2 months at a time, make sure you're making healthy choices, because truck drivers are one of their health
Unhealthy.
are one of the worst, amongst occupations. That's because y'all always moving. Y'all always on the go, and no one is helping y'all to take care of your health part of it. So, and stop being on the road 2 months at a time, man. That's too long away from your wife and your family. That's just me talking and messing with you.
That's just a little advice.
But I think we done killed my battery.
Battery
y'all
gone.
Seen the tent come. Thank y'all for listening.
Peace.
Thank you for everything.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your evening.
Love,
Good night.
love.
Love.